So we'll start today on our backs. And you can put your legs however they're comfortable. So some people find it nicer to bend their knees. If the knees are bent, it might be nice to rest them together or let them fall out to the sides, or you can just have your legs straight if that's comfortable. Whatever works for you. And if you're able to close your eyes, then I invite you to do so. And if not, just keep your gaze down and try not to look around. And we'll just start by feeling the places in the back of the body that are touching the ground. So maybe starting with your feet, or if your legs are straight, your heels. Just feeling the point of contact, feet on earth. And if any parts of the legs are touching down, you can feel the skin touching your mat or the ground. And feeling the buttocks and seeing if you might let it be heavy and release down into the ground a little more. And then all the places in the back, parts of the spine, maybe the shoulder blades, sinking down, relaxed. And then feeling the feeling of the arms touching down, surrendering the weight of the arms to the support of the earth. And then feeling the back of the head really heavy, solid. Touching down. And then we can move our awareness from the outer layers of the body to the inside of the body. And we can start by just feeling the breath. So the breath itself doesn't have any sensation, but the way the body moves to receive and release breath has sensation. And you can just feel that movement. Maybe it feels like a rise and fall, or an expansion and contraction, or both, or neither. Just whatever it feels like to you. There's never a right answer. Then we'll place the hands on the belly and start to breathe into the belly so that you feel the hands as you inhale, and then lowering when you exhale, focusing on breathing into the belly. Belly expands and shrinks. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Breathing deep and slow. Like you're blowing up a balloon in your belly. Then we'll move the hands from the belly up onto the ribs. Breathing into the hands again. Feeling the ribs expanding and contracting. Directing your focus to where your hands are to help direct the breath. And then you can release one hand to the ground and bring the other hand onto your chest. Feel where your hand is touching your chest and try to breathe up into that hand. Now we'll bring all three parts together for a complete yoga breath. The hand that's on the ground can return to the belly. Leave the hand on your chest there. Breathe into the belly hand. Keep inhaling to fill the space between the hands, and then keep inhaling into the chest hand. The exhale leaves from the chest, then the ribs, then the belly. Breathing in, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, chest, ribs, belly. Just doing the best you can. We don't usually breathe this fully into our lungs, so it may be a little challenging if it's new to you. It gets easier with practice. Then you can start to really notice how the body expands with an in-breath and how that exhale really helps the body relax. So those are the key elements in our yoga practice, that expansion and relaxation. And the breath helps us do both of those. So if you feel like you don't need the help of your hands anymore, you can release them to the ground and see if you can still breathe belly, ribs, chest without your hands. And if you notice that it's more challenging and you want to return one or both hands to any of those three sections just to help you along, feel free to do that. Now, we're going to try to breathe the same deep, full, slow breath throughout the whole class. It's going to feel different as we do different exercises, but our intention to breathe from bottom to top remains throughout. So let's bring the hands onto the knees into the hands. Continuing to breathe, belly, ribs, chest. On the exhale, draw the knees into the body. And then on the inhale, straighten the arms and let the knees rock away again. Exhale, bringing in. Inhale, floating back out. And see if you can start to notice the relationship between the movement and the breath. For instance, maybe as the thighs come in toward the belly, it helps release all the air out of the belly. And you can feel that inhale just naturally moving the thighs away from the belly so that there's room for that breath to come in. So this same principle is going to show up in some way or another in every position that we take with our bodies. Okay, and then we're going to just let the knees open out to the side. You can keep your hands resting at your inner thighs, or if you prefer, holding from the outside. Just feeling this first deep stretch here. And staying connected to the fullness of your breath in and the relaxation of the breath out. And when something is uncomfortable because it's a deep stretch, it can be helpful to focus more intently on the breath so that the discomfort kind of moves into the background and the breath is in the foreground. And then bring the knees back in. And wrap your hands around just the right knee, just below the knee, and straighten the left leg. Flexing the left foot, the right foot can stay relaxed. And then as you exhale, draw that right knee in toward the chest. Pressing out long through the left heel. Just feeling the rise and fall of the breath. Noticing if the breath feels different now with the right thigh coming in toward the belly. Does that change where you feel the breath at all? Okay. Now we're going to take that right hand, bring it to the inside of the right leg. Lift your head and wrap your hand around the bottom of your right foot. Lower your head back down and lift the foot up, trying to have the bottom of the foot face the ceiling. Your hand is trying to hold on to the bottom of the foot, but if it doesn't reach the bottom of the foot, then just hold on to the shin somewhere. Or if you have a strap, you can use that. Try to have the right knee sinking down toward the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we'll bend that left leg. Place the right ankle onto the left thigh above the knee. Clasp the hands behind the back of the left leg. Flex both of your feet. Head is on the ground. Pull your chin in toward your throat. Breathing deep and slow. And then when you exhale, press the left foot toward the right foot. Stay connected to your breath. If the mind wanders, just come back to the breath. And then release the right foot onto the ground. Send the left leg up into the air. Left leg straight up in the air. Hands behind the back of the leg. And then slowly point and flex that left foot, reaching up through the toes, pressing up through the heel. Stay with your breath. And then hold the flex position. If your left leg is straight, perfectly straight, you don't have to, but you can straighten your right leg out on the ground. If your left leg is not straight, please keep your right leg bent with your foot on the ground. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and lift the forehead. Lift the head. Slide the hands up your left leg. Now drop your shoulders down toward the ground. And just be with your breath here. See what happens if you lengthen the inhale even more. And then as you exhale, you can draw your belly toward your spine to release all the air out. Keep pressing up through that left heel. Beautiful. Lower your head down if you have it lifted, and then just hug that left knee into the chest. Flexing the right foot, relaxing the left foot, reaching out long through that right heel, breathing, 3-part breath, belly, ribs, chest. Maybe when the air leaves your belly, there's a softening, and maybe you can bring that left knee in a little more. And then we'll bring the right arm inside the right leg. Lift your head to place your hand around the bottom of your, sorry, left. I said right, but I mean left. Sorry to confuse you. Left hand around the left foot, and then lower your head and lift the left foot so that it faces the sky, and then drop the left shoulder down toward the ground. Let the weight of the hand on the foot be nice and heavy, pressing the knee to the floor. Breathing deeply in and completely out. See if the stretch feels like it's receiving the breath in some way. And bend the right leg, foot on the floor. Place the left ankle on top of the right leg, just above the knee. Clasp the hands behind the back of the right leg. Bring your head back down. Flex both feet. Pull your chin in toward your throat. When you exhale, press your right foot toward your left foot. I'm going to turn the left foot down to the ground, straighten the leg, and lift the right leg up into the air, and point and flex. Sorry, the right leg. Yeah, the right leg. Hold the flex position. Take a breath in. And, oh, I forgot to mention, also, if your left leg is bent and you want to straighten it, feel free if that right leg is straight. Otherwise, leave it bent. And then we'll take a breath in, and then exhale and lift the head. Walk the hands up that right leg. We're on the right leg. You did it wrong. And take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. As you exhale, drop the backs of your shoulders toward the floor, creating a little bit more weight with your hands on your upraised leg. Slow the breathing down as much as you can. Exhale all the air out. Release the head down if you had it lifted. Bring the right foot to the ground. Bend the left leg if it's straight, bringing the left foot to the ground. And then roll over onto one side. And with your free hand, push into the floor and lift yourself up. And we'll come right up onto hands and knees. So we're going to line the hands up under the shoulders. I bring my hands into fists because my wrists are happier that way. You're welcome to do that as well, or just come onto your hands. If you're on your hands, spread your fingers wide and have your knees under your hips. Okay, now we're just going to start to wag our tail a little bit from side to side, starting to warm up the spine a little. Just moving the hips right and left. And then we're just going to take this a little bit deeper. So when you move your hips to the right, look over your right shoulder. And when you move your hips to the left, look over your left shoulder. So that you're creating a C shape, like the letter C, with your spine. Okay, so that's the side to side movement of the spine. Now we'll do the up and down movement. As you inhale, let the belly drop, the tailbone roll up. Carry the breath up to your chest and roll your eyes up to the sky. Letting your back arch. And then as you exhale, bring your tailbone down, lift your belly, drop your head, letting your back round like a cat. And then just continue at your own pace, letting the timing it takes you to breathe determine your pace. So we always let the breath set the pace so that we're sure to still breathe a nice, slow, long, deep breath. So super important to maintain the flexibility of the spine. Ideally, you do something like this every day to keep your spine healthy. Easy enough if you watch television just to get down on the ground and do some of these spinal flexes. Okay, and then come back to neutral. And then we'll do the last two movements of the spine, which is twisting right and left. So inhale and bring the left arm up. And then exhale, slide the hand behind your right hand. Come all the way down onto your shoulder. Cross your ankles. Move your head forward so that you're making your neck nice and long. Take a deep breath in, and then when you exhale, press down into your right hand and roll toward the back of your head. And then send that right arm all the way up and reach it back as far into the space behind you as you can. And then squeeze your ankles as you inhale. Breathing in as best as you can here, and then just relaxing into your exhale. And if you can close your eyes and continue to focus on the internal experience, feeling how the breath kind of finds its way around the twist. Maybe it still makes its way up into the chest even. And then bring that right hand back down, press it into the floor to lift yourself up. Uncross your ankles, back to our table position, our starting point. Inhale, take the right arm up. Exhale, thread it behind that left arm, come all the way down onto your shoulder, and then move your head forward so that there's lots of space in your neck. Cross your ankles. Take a breath in. And then when you exhale, press into your left hand and roll toward the back of your head. Send the left arm up and let it open into the space behind you as best as you can. Squeeze the ankles as you inhale. Relax, maybe sinking a little bit more into the twist as you exhale. If you pay attention to your breath, it encourages it. Just like paying attention to a child encourages it. And return that left hand down. Push into the floor to help yourself up. Uncross the ankles and round your back again, holding in that cat position, stretching the spine. Great. And then come back to neutral. Walk the hands forward, keeping your hips lined up over your knees. So you're not bringing your hips forward, you're not bringing them back. Just keeping them lined up. Walk the hands as far forward as you can, sinking your chest down, relaxing your head down. So maybe your forehead can come to the ground. Maybe even your chin can come to the ground. Or if you feel like you can go even deeper, maybe your cheek can come to the ground. Trying your best to still breathe deeply. And then as you exhale, relax and just let go of your back. Let it sink. Imagine somebody is just sitting on your back and just let the weight drop toward the floor. If you're on one cheek, please turn to the other one now. If you're on one cheek, come center. And then we'll all bring the hands in under the shoulders. Press into the hands. Lift yourself up and round your back again. See how the breath can really help make some space in the back if you breathe and focus on your back. Okay, relax and come back to our starting position. Walk the hands one hand's length in front of the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide apart. Curl the toes under. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, lift the knees. Push the hands forward, sending your hips back. Straighten your legs and press the heels to the ground. And then drop your head. And then see if you can slide your shoulders down your back. If you don't understand what I mean, don't worry about it. And then we'll press forward into all 10 fingers and see if you can feel the spine lengthening. And then press the heels down toward the floor, stretching the calves and the backs of the legs. Continuing to breathe belly, ribs, chest, even though it's upside down. On the exhale, you can lift your belly toward your spine. Downward facing dog. One more breath here. And then we'll walk the feet up to the hands. Let the knees be soft. And then slowly roll yourself up. Reaching the arms up as you inhale. Exhale the arms down. Inhaling up. Feel the deep breath coming in and the relaxation as you breathe out. Releasing down. One more time. And then this time, reach just the right arm up. Exhale, slide the left hand down your leg, leaning over to the left. Turn your head up and to the right. Press down strongly with your right foot. And then reach out long with your right hand. And then try to breathe that same breath, belly, ribs, chest, and you'll see maybe it feels a little bit different with the body in this shape. On your next inhale, lift that right arm up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale the left arm up. I'm laughing at Teresa's cat. Exhale the right hand down the leg. Turn your gaze up and to the left. And then push down strongly with your left foot. Reach out long with your left fingers. Feel the breath coming up into this posture. Can you feel it in those left ribs? As you exhale, can you relax down into it even more? And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down. If you're not at the front of your mat, please come to the front of your mat. Take a giant step back with your left leg. With the heel on the ground, that back foot will be at an angle, and then bend your front leg. And as the right knee moves forward, try to also press the left thigh back. Bring the left arm out in front of you, and then reach forward through your left hand, letting it kind of pull your left hip forward. And then just as your left hand is reaching forward, press your left foot back. So there's that kind of opposing force there. Good. Now send the left arm up. Send the right arm up. Pull the shoulders down. Palms face each other. Keep pressing back through the left thigh. And then you can aim your tailbone forward to deepen the stretch. If you want to look up, you can look up. If you want to lean your arms back and lift your chest a little bit more, you can do that, or you can just stay here. Warrior One. Whatever you're doing, make sure that you're still able to breathe deep and slow. If you're taking it to a place where you can no longer maintain a nice, slow, even, relaxing breath, then you've gone too far for you. Beautiful. Release the arms down. Straighten the front leg. Turn your belly to the left. Take the arms back out to the side. Straight out to the side. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, reach forward with your right arm. Reach forward, 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 forward. And then bring the hand down onto your right leg. Send the left arm straight up in the air and look up at your left thumb. So you don't want to come so far down that right leg that your hips are behind you. So you want to kind of stay all in one plane. So you only go so far down as you can while your ribs and torso remain in the same line as your leg. And then as you inhale, you can reach up through your left fingers. And then as you exhale, let the left ribs relax down toward the right ribs. Triangle pose. See if the breath can fill into the posture. And then lift up to standing. Release the arms down. Step the left foot up. And step the right foot back. Bending that left knee. Slide the left knee forward and press the right thigh back. And then we'll send that right arm forward. And then reach forward through the fingers so that it kind of turns your hips and brings your hips forward. That's it. And then send that right arm up. Let the left arm come up. Relax the shoulders down. And then press the tailbone forward. Press the right thigh back. And then you can, optional, lift your chest, lift your gaze, perhaps even move your thumbs back behind you. Breathing up into your heart. Release the arms down. Straighten your legs and turn your belly to the right. Have your left foot facing straight forward. Arms out to the side. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, reach forward, 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 forward through your left arm. Forward. And then relax it down and bring your right arm up. Look up at your right thumb. Inhale, reach up through your right fingers. Exhale, drop your right ribs down toward your left ribs. That looks great, you guys. Stay connected to how it feels. Breathing into it, infusing it with more life, with more space, with more ease. Expanding as you inhale, relaxing as you exhale. And lift yourself up. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release the arms down. Clasp the hands behind your back. Roll the shoulder blades in toward each other. Breathe wide into your heart. Exhale and fold forward. Lifting your hands, dropping your head. Press down into your feet. Lift up through your thighs. Might feel like your kneecaps lift up. Spread the breath wide into your lungs. Lift your belly as you exhale. Release the hands, bend the knees, bring the hands to the ground, and bend the knees all the way, lowering your buttocks to the floor. And then keep your knees bent, feet on the ground, lower your back to the floor. Coming all the way onto your back, feet hip width apart. Rest your hands on either side of your hips with the palms down. Take a breath in, belly, ribs, chest. And then as you exhale, push into your feet and lift your hips off the ground. And then try to roll your shoulders under you. And if you can, clasp your hands, but the opposite way. Whichever way you want to do it, put the other thumb on the outside. If you're not able to clasp your hands, don't worry about it. Just keep pressing your hands into the ground and try to roll the shoulders under you so that you're on your shoulders and not your neck. And then push forward with your feet to help lift your hips even higher. Push down into your upper arms to lift your chest even higher. And then just breathe. If your hands are clasped, you can see what it feels like to imagine that you're trying to pull your hands apart. See if that helps you get higher still. Bridge pose. And then release your hands, slowly lay your spine back down. Lift your feet and place your hands on your thighs. Press your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. Pulling your navel toward your spine. And then just draw the knees into the chest gently for a moment. And then let your feet come to the ground again, keeping the knees bent. Lift your hips about an inch off the floor, just enough to tuck your tailbone under and come right back down. And then release your legs straight out and shake the legs out, in and out, like the feet are windshield wipers. And if you're using an eye pillow, you can place that on your eyes now, and we'll just let the arms rest out away from the body with the palms facing up. And if you can close your eyes, please do so. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out of the mouth, sinking the weight of the body into the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the jaw, letting the lips slightly part, relaxing the tongue. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the activity of the mind, letting go of thoughts and memories and fantasies, bringing your mind fully into the feeling of your breath. And then even letting go of the breath so that you're not trying to breathe deeply anymore. You're not really trying to breathe at all. You're just letting the breath happen naturally, organically. And you can just notice where in your body you feel the breath. And just plant your attention there. See if you can stay connected to the feel of the breath without orchestrating it. If the mind wanders away, no problem, just bring it back again. Watching the breath come in, watching the breath go out, however it may. Deeply relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. into your heart with the fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath, stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest. Rock gently from side to side, feeling the ground massaging your back. Come center, bring the soles of the feet together in the air, the palms together, rub hand to hand and foot to foot. And roll over onto your side, resting your head on your underside arm. Resting your body on the ground. Resting your mind in whatever is here for you right now. Just taking in how it feels. Taking in who you are in this moment. And then slowly press yourself up. Try to let your head come up last. And then come into any comfortable seated position. Sinking down into the sit bones, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, the hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest.